What if the quiet decline in your legs was the first sign of something bigger and completely preventable? Millions of older adults are losing their independence not from illness, but from something as simple as weak legs. But here's the hope. For affordable, everyday foods, yes, foods could be the key to staying steady, strong, and on your feet. There's a truth no one really warns us about when we're younger, but it becomes painfully clear as we age. The strength in your legs is one of the biggest factors in your independence, and it can disappear quietly. One morning, you're just getting ready to leave the house. But today, something feels off. Your legs are heavy. You try to walk, but they feel like they're dragging behind you. You start down the stairs and suddenly they begin to shake. You grip the handrail tightly and pause halfway down. You're not being lazy. You're not out of shape. Your legs have quietly lost strength and your body is trying to tell you something. Here's a fact that needs to be said out loud. Every 11 seconds, an older adult in the US is hospitalized due to a fall, most often caused by weak legs. It might sound like a statistic, but behind every one of those numbers is a person who now struggles with fear, pain, or loss of independence. And sometimes that independence never fully comes back. As a nutritionist who has worked closely with hundreds of clients between the ages of 50 and 90, I can tell you this with confidence. You don't have to accept weak legs as part of aging. This is not about spending a fortune on rehab or completely changing your lifestyle. In fact, the solution could be sitting quietly in your kitchen right now. 4 simple, inexpensive foods that can support your muscles, joints, and balance in a powerful way. Let me share 2 real stories. Maria, age 76, fell in her bathroom and thought she'd be using a cane forever. But after 3 months of changing her diet, she was walking confidently through the plaza again. And Jose, 81, who couldn't stand without shaking. Now, he's climbing stairs with steady legs and a smile. What changed? Their food. Because your body isn't broken. It's just waiting for the right fuel. So don't click away, stay with me. The very first food I'm about to share won't just help your legs, it could also improve your mood, your sleep, and your confidence in the days ahead. And before we dive in, take a moment to drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? And how old are you? Your story could inspire someone else today, more than you realize. Alright, let's get into it. The first food may be small, but it's incredibly powerful for rebuilding leg strength starting right now. Food number 1, chickpeas. After years of working with older adults, one truth always holds. It's often the most unassuming foods that bring the most lasting benefits. One of those quiet heroes? Chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans. Chickpeas often sit untouched in the pantry waiting to be added to a soup, a stew, or maybe a salad. But don't let their simple appearance fool you. Chickpeas are one of the best natural foods to strengthen your legs, especially as you get older. They're rich in plant-based protein, which is essential for building and maintaining muscle. And that's critical because after age 50, your body starts to lose muscle mass faster, a condition called sarcopenia. This leads to weaker legs, poor balance, and a higher risk of falling. But research shows that adding chickpeas to your weekly diet can help slow that muscle loss, giving your legs a better chance to stay strong and stable. And it doesn't stop at protein. Chickpeas are also packed with magnesium, iron, and vitamin B6, 3 nutrients that work together to power your muscles and your nervous system. Magnesium helps reduce cramps and stiffness and keeps your energy levels up. Vitamin B6 helps your nerves send the right signals to your muscles. When these nutrients work in harmony, your legs feel less heavy, more responsive, and more energized. In fact, a 2019 study from the University of Murcia found that older adults who ate chickpeas 3 times a week lost 22% less muscle than those who didn't. That's not just a statistic, that's real protection. I've seen it happen firsthand. Jose, 74, from Seville, had taken a bad fall on his stairs. But instead of reaching for pain meds, he asked me how to get his strength back, naturally. Together, we focused on one major change: eating chickpeas 3 times a week. He tossed them into stews, blended them into hummus, and added them to fresh salads. And in just 5 weeks, something incredible happened. Jose was walking confidently around his neighborhood, no more shaky knees, no more struggle to rise from a chair. All because of food. Previously, we talked about chickpeas, a humble pantry staple that turns out to be a powerhouse for leg strength and muscle support. But building strong legs is only part of the story. Now, we'll focus on something just as important: helping your muscles and nerves stay calm and coordinated, especially at night. For most of my older clients, I typically suggest starting with half a cup, that's about 125 grams of cooked chickpeas per serving. When you enjoy this just 2 to 3 times a week, it can noticeably improve leg strength, energy levels, and even daily mobility over time. One of the best things about chickpeas? Their versatility. You don't have to be a chef or spend hours in the kitchen to enjoy their benefits. Roast them with a drizzle of olive oil, a splash of lemon juice, and some Mediterranean herbs for a crispy, satisfying snack. Toss them into a salad with fresh cucumbers, red onion, and parsley, a simple yet refreshing lunch. Or if you're craving something warm, simmer chickpeas into a hearty soup with turmeric, black pepper, carrots, and celery. This creates a nutrient-rich dinner that not only supports leg muscles, but also boosts circulation and helps reduce inflammation naturally. Here's a helpful tip for anyone using dried chickpeas. Soak them overnight with a pinch of baking soda. This softens the chickpeas, improves their digestibility, and reduces phytic acid, a compound that can block the absorption of iron and other minerals. This is particularly useful for older adults who may experience bloating, stomach sensitivity, or lightheadedness due to low iron or poor nutrient absorption. A simple soaking step can go a long way in helping your body use nutrients more effectively. So when you incorporate chickpeas into your weekly routine, you're not just enjoying a tasty dish, you're supporting stronger legs, better balance, and a healthier, more confident future. Food number 2. Pumpkin seeds. Let's keep moving because this next food isn't just about strength, it's about comfort, control, and rest. If chickpeas are the foundation of stronger leg muscles, then pumpkin seeds are the quiet fixers that work behind the scenes, soothing the nervous system, easing nighttime leg cramps, and helping your muscles and nerves communicate with ease. Yes, we're talking about those small, crunchy green seeds you might toss aside after carving a pumpkin or spot in the health food aisle. But don't underestimate them. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with nutrients that older adults often lack, especially magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals for muscle function, coordination, and nerve health. It helps regulate electrical impulses between nerves and muscles, keeping your legs steady, not twitchy, tense, or cramp-prone. Unfortunately, magnesium deficiency is extremely common after age 50, even in people who eat well, and its symptoms can sneak up quietly. Muscle cramps or twitching, restless legs at night, morning stiffness or soreness, feeling fatigued after minor activities. But here's the good news. Pumpkin seeds are one of the best whole food sources of magnesium, and they come with bonus nutrients too. In addition to magnesium, pumpkin seeds provide zinc, which helps repair muscle tissue and supports your immune system, healthy fats, which reduce joint inflammation, and tests, which protect your cells from damage for those dealing with stiff or swollen knees, sore ankles, or tired feet after long days of standing or walking. This mix of nutrients makes pumpkin seeds an ideal daily remedy. They support not just your muscles, but your joints and nerves, working together to ease discomfort and improve balance. And the science backs it up. A 2020 clinical study from Complutense University of Madrid looked at adults over age 55 who ate 30–40 grams of pumpkin seeds daily. After just 6 weeks, participants reported a 31% reduction in nighttime leg cramps, noticeable improvements in balance and stability, better performance in mobility tests, like standing on one foot or navigating stairs. These aren't just numbers, they're real changes that helped people feel steadier, more confident, and better rested. And I've seen the power of pumpkin seeds with my own clients. Let me tell you about Carmen, a 68-year-old woman from Zaragoza. She'd been battling severe calf cramps for years. Almost every night, around a.m., she'd wake up in pain, exhausted, frustrated, and afraid to fall back asleep. She had tried everything: warm compresses, leg stretches, magnesium sprays, massage techniques. Nothing gave her lasting relief. So I made a simple suggestion. I asked her to start eating a handful of roasted, unsalted pumpkin seeds every afternoon, around p.m., just 30 grams, a small amount. Within 3 weeks, something changed. Her cramps weren't waking her up as often. By week 6, they had nearly disappeared. For the first time in years, Carmen said she was waking up refreshed, relaxed, and ready to take on her day. No tension, no soreness. She also noticed other improvements: sharper focus, more energy, and a newfound enthusiasm for walking in the mornings. All that from a handful of seeds. So how can you start adding pumpkin seeds to your day? Aim for 30 grams a day, about 2 tablespoons. Make sure they're unsalted and preferably raw or lightly toasted, so you preserve the nutrients. Here are some simple, tasty ways to include them. Sprinkle over warm oatmeal or overnight oats. Toss into green salads or grain bowls. Mix into cooked vegetables for a nutty crunch, or just enjoy them plain. Lightly toasted in a dry pan if you want to get the most sleep-supporting benefits. Pay attention to timing. Try eating pumpkin seeds between PM and PM. This gives your body enough time to absorb the magnesium before bed. That quiet mineral power helps relax your muscles, soothe your nervous system, and promote deep, uninterrupted rest. And remember, sometimes the most powerful changes don't come from medications or expensive supplements. They come from small, sustainable habits you can enjoy every day. Adding pumpkin seeds to your routine is one of those habits. From calming leg cramps with pumpkin seeds to building strength with chickpeas, we've already seen how powerful food can be. But what if the next food on our list could help not just your muscles but your joints and bones, too, restoring the fluid motion and stability that aging often takes away? That brings us to food number 3, seaweed. Now, this one may surprise you. It doesn't grow in gardens or come from the soil. It drifts in the ocean, soft, light, and almost paper thin. You might have seen it garnishing a bowl of ramen or wrapped around sushi and not given it a second thought. But behind that delicate appearance lies one of nature's most powerful joint healing and bone rebuilding foods. Have you ever noticed a popping sound when you stand up? Or maybe your knees feel like they creak every time you turn or climb stairs? That's not just getting older. It's your body trying to tell you that your joints and bones are drying out. They're in need of nourishment, hydration, and support. And seaweed provides exactly that. Specific varieties like wakame, kombu, sea lettuce, and brown algae are incredibly rich in organic calcium to strengthen bonicidine, which supports your metabolism, and thyroidin to unique anti-inflammatory compounds, fucoidin and laminarin. These aren't just nice to have nutrients. They play critical roles, supporting synovial fluid production, the natural lubrication your joints rely on, shielding cartilage from damage, easing stiffness and swelling, and even stimulating bone regeneration at a time in life when loss in bone density becomes a serious risk. In fact, a 2021 study published in the American Journal of Community Nutrition found something remarkable. Women over 60 who eat seaweed 2 to 3 times a week had up to 16% higher bone density than those who didn't. That's not just a number on a chart. That's the difference between walking confidently and worrying about every step. Because at this stage of life, something as small as a slip in the kitchen or an uneven sidewalk can lead to a serious fracture, especially in the hip, an injury that can rob someone of their independence overnight. But with a little help from the ocean, there's hope. I'll never forget one of my favorite clients, Maria. At 70, she was vibrant and active. A retired yoga instructor, she loved movement. But a long-standing knee injury caused by arthritis had finally forced her to give up teaching. Her flexibility, balance, and strength, everything she'd once been proud of, seemed to fade. Medication helped with pain, but it wasn't until we changed her diet that real healing began. We started simply: miso soup with wakame and soft tofu, crisp seaweed salads with a light vinegar dressing, nori sheets wrapped around warm rice, and steamed vegetables. At first, it just felt like a change of taste. But after 8 weeks, the results were undeniable. Maria's inflammation subsided, her pain decreased, and perhaps most importantly, she began to stretch again, gently, slowly, but with confidence. She told me, with tears in her eyes, that she thought she'd never feel that kind of freedom in her body again. Today, seaweed is a regular part of her meals, and she says her joints feel more fluid, her balance has returned, and her energy stays steady throughout the day. Here's the best part. You don't need to drastically overhaul your diet to see results. Just adding seaweed 2 to 3 times a week can support bone density, joint mobility, and your body's ability to move with ease and confidence. There are so many easy ways to try it. Add wakame to miso soup, sprinkle dried seaweed flakes over your salad, use nori sheets to wrap up a rice bowl or sandwich-style wrap. Want to take it up a notch? Here's a kitchen trick to enhance the benefits. When making seaweed broth, add a few thin slices of fresh ginger and a small drop of toasted sesame oil. Ginger adds natural anti-inflammatory support, and sesame oil helps your body absorb calcium more effectively. Plus, the warmth of the broth aids digestion, especially helpful for older adults with sensitive stomachs or a slower metabolism. It's a small, comforting ritual with powerful results. So don't overlook this ocean vegetable. It may seem humble, but seaweed is a gentle healer, helping to stiff nourishment bone density protect your joints and restore freedom of movement. Think of it like a quiet, supportive friend, one that helps you regain that fluid, graceful feeling in your legs and knees that you may have thought was long gone. We've explored foods that calm your nerves, rebuild your joints, and restore your balance. But now, we reach the final food on our list, a creamy, vibrant fruit that speaks directly to your nervous system. And if your legs have ever felt wobbly, your toes numb, or your gait unsure, this might be the food that brings it all back into sync. Let's talk about avocado, nature's most intelligent, restorative fat source. This isn't just a trendy toast topping. For older adults, it could be the missing link between how your brain sends signals and how your body moves in response. Think about this. Have you ever walked across a room and felt like your legs were moving, but your brain wasn't fully connected to the motion? Maybe there's a subtle numbness in your calves, tingling in your toes, or a moment where your feet feel distant from your awareness. These are not signs of clumsiness. They're signs that your peripheral nerves may be undernourished, failing to transmit clean, fast messages between your brain and your legs. And if left unaddressed, that disconnection can chip away at your stability, your confidence, and your sense of freedom. The good news? Avocados can help reconnect that line of communication. Avocados are loaded with monounsaturated fats, especially a compound called oleic acid. These healthy fats strengthen the membranes of nerve cells, making it easier for your brain, spinal cord, and lower limbs to stay in sync. This doesn't just mean less stumbling, it means more precision, more coordination, and a greater sense of control with each step you take. But the benefits don't stop at healthy fats. Avocados are also rich in potassium, which supports fluid balance, muscle contraction, and helps prevent leg cramps. Vitamin E, a potent antioxidant that protects nerve endings from oxidative damage and slows age-related degeneration in nerve tissue. And yes, there's solid science behind all of this. In 2021, a study from the American Institute of Nutrition and Geriatrics found that adults over 65 who added avocado to their morning meals at least 4 times a week showed significant improvements in balance, lower body coordination, and postural control, all within just 6 weeks. These improvements were especially profound in individuals who had previously experienced those subtle but scary signs: trouble getting up from chairs, difficulty on stairs, and an unsteady feeling while walking across uneven ground. I remember one of my patients clearly. Miguel, a 79-year-old retired school teacher, came to my clinic worried about the strange numbness in his feet. He said, "I'm afraid to walk alone. I'm losing that connection." Miguel loved walking through the park with his grandson, but now, each step felt uncertain. So, we didn't overhaul his entire diet. We made one simple change. He replaced his usual sugary breakfast with a slice of whole grain toast, topped with mashed avocado, a sprinkle of chia seeds, and a squeeze of lemon juice. That was it. Just 4 weeks later, Miguel returned with tears in his eyes and said something I'll never forget. "I can feel the ground beneath my feet again, and I can feel my grandson's footsteps next to mine." That transformation didn't come from medication. It came from consistent, targeted nourishment. You can start the same way today. I recommend eating avocado 3 to 4 times per week, using about 1/3 to half a fruit per serving. Morning is ideal, as it boosts energy and supports nerve function throughout the day. But you can also enjoy it as an afternoon snack to sustain your strength and focus. Here are a few easy, delicious ways to get it in. Spread mashed avocado on whole grain toast and add crushed walnuts, chia seeds, or flax seeds for an omega-3 boost. Toss diced avocado into a quinoa or lentil salad with fresh greens. Blend it into a smoothie with banana and almond milk for a creamy, nutrient-rich drink, or layer it in a wrap with leafy greens, grilled vegetables, and a drizzle of olive oil. Bite delivers smart fat, protective antioxidants, and the essential minerals your nervous system and muscles need to stay strong, responsive, and calm. So don't underestimate this soft, green fruit. Yes, it's creamy. Yes, it's mild in flavor. But beneath that subtle texture is a powerhouse for your nervous system, your balance, and your confidence with every step you take. Avocado works like an internal reset switch, restoring clarity, control, and helping you walk not just steadily, but purposefully. Let's take a moment to look back at the full picture. By simply adding these 4 natural foods into your weekly routine: 1. Chickpeas, to build muscle mass and combat leg weakness. 2. Pumpkin seeds, to ease cramps and calm the nervous system. 3. Seaweed, to restore joint fluidity and protect bone density. 4. Avocado to reconnect your nerves and boost lower body coordination. You're not just feeding your body. You're investing in your independence, your freedom, and your future mobility. Because the truth is, aging doesn't have to mean slowing down. It can mean refining your fuel, listening to your body, and stepping forward with confidence one food at a time. So don't wait until you're leaning on a cane or avoiding the stairs. Start today. Your next meal could be the beginning of something transformative. Whether it's a spoonful of seaweed soup, a handful of pumpkin seeds, or a creamy avocado toast, each small step today builds strength for tomorrow. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you already been eating any of these foods? Which one are you most excited to try first? Your experience might inspire someone else in this community. If this video gave you a new perspective or helped you learn something valuable, give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend, a family member, or someone you care about, because everyone deserves to walk with more comfort, balance, and freedom. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health Boost for more practical, science-backed health tips that help you stay active, independent, and energized at 50, 60, 70, and beyond. Thank you for being here. We're honored to walk this path with you. Stay curious, stay strong, and stay tuned, because at Senior Health Boost, we're just getting started. See you in the next video.